questions.
All right. Yeah, good week here. Last home game. Excited to be in the stadium one more time. Last construction game, fingers crossed, which will be nice. Great chance for us to honor our seniors and for their contributions to the program. Obviously, bouncing back from a tough game at Ole Miss. Have another tough SEC opponent this weekend. And excited for the challenge to prepare and to have our best performance on Saturday. Injury-wise, just questionable. Trudell Berry, day-to-day, kind of assessing through the week. Will Shepard will be the same. Quincy Skinner, the same. A.J. Swan, and then also C.J. Taylor, too. Kind of working through and finding out what we can get done practice-wise this week, and then again what we may or may not be able to do with those guys on Saturday. If there are any additional questions, I'm happy to answer them. But with that, I'll open it up.
Typically,
Will Shepard,
you go ahead, Aria.
what's Will Shepard's injury? Was that something that happened on Saturday?
It did, yeah. He wasn't able to finish the game. It's upper body, and there's nothing that's long term there, but there is discomfort and the possibility that impedes his ability to play. So we're just keeping an eye on it.
I guess coming out of a bye week, usually you expect like a pretty good performance, especially at the start of the game. So since it was the opposite of that, what's kind of the state of the locker room, maybe even the state of the coach's wing or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's frustrated. I know everybody's frustrated. The start of the game, I mean, I think you look at that their first scoring drive, and we let the one play behind us. They kind of got the chunk for them, and we pressured the quarterback there. He's escaping. We lost our eyes at corner just for a split second, and it was enough to get the route behind us, and we weren't able to catch it, and that was unfortunate. We ended up forcing them into a third down there, but they found a kind of a vertical running lane. We got captured at the second level, and that's what led to the score. I thought after that on defense we actually showed some toughness and some battle off the short field, forcing the field goal, and then the next possession too, forcing the field goal after the sack fumble. And God, you're watching Issa there with a great opportunity to scoop and score that ball, or to scoop and get some yards, and for us to have possession on our side of the field, and it just didn't bounce our way on that one. Offensively, obviously the first drive was a missed opportunity, and then a mistake that compounded and put them in really good position. The second one, we actually got a couple of first downs. It was Ken scrambling. I thought it was a good scramble. And then we had the sneak there at midfield. We just weren't able to maintain possession and threaten there. There was pressure early. I thought the run game was efficient, but throwing the ball, I felt like we were under pressure and weren't able to get it out in time. We had the ability to pitch and catch the tight end into the back. We just weren't able to get the ball in play. And as we got into the second quarter, and it felt like we were just struggling to do something offensively. That's where the decision went to go to Walt. And I guess you ask about the fast start. I think or the lack of a fast start off a bye. I mean, I think we got to 13-0 off. Turnover, 2 field goals, 1 off a turnover on a possession inside the 15, and an opening drive where a good team scored. I mean, we certainly had things in that drive that we could have done better. I thought to get to 20 and 26, there were also some short fields there where we were trying again on a fake punt or a fourth down attempt to get some momentum going. We just weren't able to do it. And so again, what's happened for us when we're not able to possess the ball, we're not able to play complementary. We take on too much water. And by the time we got into half, the game was, we were 26 points behind. And I did feel like there was competitive character in the fight in the second half, but wasn't enough, and it wasn't soon enough. And so, we spent time this week talking about how we course correct sooner, and we're gonna keep at it to find an answer. You ask about the temperament of the locker room and for the coaches. Again, we're agitated and frustrated, and it's not reaching results. It's hard on everybody. I mean, it's hard, and my challenge to the coaches and my challenge to the team is to stay connected to an identity and a purpose behind what we do, and I do believe that these times of adversity are also times of growth, and sometimes that means you need to change and evolve, and those are the things that we're going through right now. So we're not going to be victimized by the lack of results, but certainly, it's not smooth sailing right now, nor would you expect it to be.
How's AJ doing in his recovery? I know you said he's day-to-day, but can you give us a little bit more insight about how he's doing mentally?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's frustrated too. He wants to be playing, and trying to find kind of the answer there with respect to what he's able to do in practice and what sets him back. Right now that's what he's focused on is just getting back healthy. I think his attitude's been good. I mean, he's been. I see him in the training room every morning. He's been interactive. He's fighting through it, but I know internally he's frustrated and wants to be out there. And we'll see what that looks like for him this week as we continue. But right now we're just again taking it day to day.
If he were healthy, would he still be third on the depth chart?
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I think we again. We had him at 2, and he got hurt, and we bumped Walt up. We felt like Walt came in and gave us something last week, but that hypothetical, it's hard to answer specifically, other than to say we believe in AJ, and I mean he very well may be 1 right now. If he was healthy, I can't answer that just because it's not the situation we're in.
How do you plan to handle quarterbacks Saturday? You've got, I think, an oar here on the depth chart. And would you, in hindsight, have handled last week any differently?
Again, last week wasn't about Ken's performance. It was more about just needing to interject some energy into the offense and find some rhythm. I believe that Walt was able to do that, although, again, we still didn't complete the ball at the level we needed to. A lot of the success we had in the second half was in the run game. And I think when you possess the ball and when you start to again grind out clock, you start to take pressure off the defense too against a good offense, and there's something really healthy about that. So the ones that hurt are the 3 and outs where we're having to punt to try to flip the field. When we're able to drive and grind some clock down and then either score or obviously punt to pin, force them on a long field. Those are things that to us equate to winning football. So I don't know that I wouldn't handle it differently. I still don't feel like Ken was playing poorly. Obviously for every game there are things to do better and things to improve upon. But as far as this Saturday, I don't know that I'd be a good coach if I disclosed what the plan was. Right. So we're gonna let the week play out, and we know that we have a couple of guys there that are preparing to play a lot of football, and it could be any combination of the two.
So, are you saying that was maybe more of a decision to get the running attack going with Walter? Is that what that was?
Yeah, I think just when you look at it, it's you're trying to extend drives and to create momentum for your offense. And from my vantage point, we were having trouble early with some of their twists and just some of the pickups in the front. So we were taking on some pressure at the quarterback position. I thought the run game, it was kind of 4 yards. That we were getting to 2nd and 6. And just it didn't seem like there was a lot of space for us on the perimeter on third downs. And so how do you convert on first and second down? And again, seeing what we had planned on getting Walt into that game regardless, right? But the first play he gets in, he gets the ball up and on the safety, lowers his shoulder and runs through contact. Then you get a jet sweep handed off to Jaden McGowan that gets around the corner. You start to see positive traction in the offense, and I think we were just trying to bottle that up and apply it. And I do think that having to defend all 11 positions, opens up some space inside for the backs. I think we saw that as well.
Do you approach the quarterback situation differently, knowing that Auburn does use two quarterbacks, a runner and a thrower, so they might have more experience defending that type of system?
No, we don't. I understand the question. That's not. I think any defense is gonna be equipped to have answers for a mobile quarterback, and so we don't spend a lot of time that way.
Missed tackles were a big issue last week. Is that something that falls more on coaching or execution? And either way, is that something you think can be improved by the end of the season?
Well, there's a couple of answers to that. It falls on both coaching and execution. I think it also falls on fundamental technical expertise. I think when you look at the offense you play against, it's an offense. Ole Miss it's driven by getting the ball into space, and they have good players. And when you stretch the field and you get into space, and you're going to miss some of those. Now, the execution part of it comes. So I think the coaching part of it is both how are you designing to eliminate that space. So that's in the structure of your defense. And then how are you coaching the fundamental technical aspects of it that give you the best chance to finish. The execution part of it becomes how are you trained as a defensive player to take space early in the down. When you eliminate space, you have a great ability to down the ball. And so, for example, the first play of the game is the formation in the boundary, and they isolate Tyson Russell to the field. He drives it as the ball's being thrown, takes the space early, makes a physical tackle. Later on, he was a little bit slower on that. He still finished it, but rather than be whatever it was 2nd and 6, it became 2nd and 3. Those are margins that we have to win in. Again, in those games where if you're chasing the ball around, you're going to be in poor tackling position. So that the third factor in that is how they use tempo to fatigue you and to make you tired. And certainly that offense is going to do that, and that's where you see some of that. I think the fourth quarter touchdown is a great example of that. I felt like we had the numbers. We did not have the conditioning or the fundamental technical expertise there to finish the way we wanted to finish.
You mentioned the difficulty with containing Dart as a rusher. Going into another matchup with another mobile quarterback, are there any changes being made to the defensive game plan or any efforts to kind of focus on that in particular?
I think those would be execution points. So, for example, the first one where he got out and got the ball over top of us, we have a lack of integrity in our pass rush lanes, and so certainly putting attention to that, and that'll be focused on as we go through practice. Yeah, it's going to be something that shows up again, and we're going to need to have answers, and we will.
Vandy hasn't played Auburn in 7 years, I think, and I'm not sure when the last time is they came up here, but you experienced as a player the old schedule. I mean, do you think, or where do you stand on this? Do you want more games against SEC West teams, and what are your general thoughts on that?
Give it to me again, what you're asking.
You
we haven't
never
played
play
in a long time.
Auburn.
Yeah, I got you.
Should you play in Auburn and LSU more often? Does it feel like a conference, I guess?
I got you. I like it, but I really, I probably to me it's just, tell me tell me the 12 games and I'll be there. But I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's I also enjoy the matchups you see every year. But again, this goes back to the Notre Dame schedule, which was always like, you had your few rivals that you're going to play, and everything else just kind of was a mixed bag. I don't mind that. It'll be fun as we get into this, new scheduling format and how that evolves forward to see the different places we'll go and the different matchups we'll see. So I'm excited for it.
Anything else? Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.